Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Happy Halloween to everyone out there. Can you do me a favor before we even get started? Hit that like and subscribe button for me, please, and leave the comments below. Much appreciated. I'll be up close and personal with you guys throughout the season. We're at the halfway point. We're getting ready for that playoff push. We got pretenders, we got contenders, and we got teams that are, well, starting to wake up. Anyway, it's Halloween. We're ready for the tricks that they're going to give us, but we might have the treats to help us this weekend and to get us the money we're looking for. Let's go get that money from those sports books and those sports apps. Let's get this right this weekend, okay, guys? So listen, hit the like and subscribe button because, guys, I need viewers, and I'm giving you this edge for free all throughout the season, playoffs, and Super Bowl. You don't have to go paying anybody for these free picks. Listen, I put it out there. I do all the homework for you guys. I do all the analytics. We're not always going to be perfect, but at least I give you the opportunity to do whatever it is you do outside of sports betting, and it frees you up. I do all the work. Why? Because I have the time for it. And besides, it's Halloween, so it's going to get a little spookier this weekend. But anyway, we have to beat those sports books, all right? And we have to beat those sports apps. So let's get ready for week number 9, guys. And before we get started, yet again, it's Halloween. Things are going to get crazy out there this weekend. What looks or what it seems, I'll take that quote from Edgar Allan Poe, may not seem what it is, right? Let's be honest. Everything looks good on paper, but putting it together, well, I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm going to do everything I can to give you guys that edge, but it is going to get tricky. Hopefully, we got the treats. Let me pause this, and we're going to get ready to roll. Okay, guys, that was a little bit of fun, right? I have my mask on. I'm getting ready for Halloween this weekend, all right? I believe it falls on Friday. But before we even get to Friday, we have our first game that's coming up, and that's going to be the Baltimore Ravens at the Miami Dolphins. Guys, the Ravens are coming off a good victory against a tough Chicago Bears team. It wasn't a bad victory. Tyler Huntley, we don't know if he's going to start. We don't know if Lamar Jackson's going to come back. What we do know is that the Miami Dolphins are coming off an impressive victory over the Atlanta Falcons. And let me give a shout out to the one guy I've been criticizing all year, and probably for the past how many years he's been in the league? 3 to 4 years. So let's just say and call it for what it is. Tua is a horrible quarterback. He should have never been a first round pick. This guy can't even throw 60 yards and hit on a dime or whatever. But I'm going to give him credit. He's coming off one of the best days of his career. In fact, I think it was his best day of his career, right? Didn't he have 4 touchdowns against the tough Atlanta Falcons defense? Very disappointing game by Atlanta, by the way. Don't understand when you got a guy like Bijan Robinson and you only give him the ball 9 times. Give me a break. Anyway, the Miami Dolphins are coming off an impressive victory. They'll be playing at home. It's a Thursday night. Baltimore finally got that one victory they needed to get the ball rolling. Let me just say this. They do have an upcoming easy schedule. Nothing is easy in the NFL, but they do have a nice, easy schedule coming up. And they just might get back into that playoff race in the weak AFC North, thanks to the Steelers dropping their home game against the Packers. No defense there. But if the Ravens get it together, and if Lamar Jackson starts on Thursday, let's go and take the Baltimore Ravens as the money line. Let's get that over and under at 49.5. We're going to take the under. I think most of the scoring could come from the Ravens, but I also think they'll keep it below. I think the defense is starting to come around. Maybe they finally fix what was wrong in that secondary. And let's take that spread of plus 7.5. I think Miami's going to hang in there, but I don't trust Tua against this tough defense. So, again, money line of Ravens, under 49.5 is the over and under, and we're going to take the spread of 7.5, plus 7.5. Touchdowns in this game, more likely coming from the top guys like Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers. And you could sprinkle in some of these other guys like Rashad Bateman. Just pick and choose wisely which offensive player will get in the end zone. As far as the Miami Dolphins, I always roll with Devon A-Chain. He's like automatic. He's like the Jonathan Taylor of the Colts. Finds his way into the end zone almost every weekend. Okay, with that said, I don't trust Tua in the game, so I don't know if I'm going to pick any receivers. If I had to pick one, it's probably Jalen Waddle. Let's move on to the next game, and let me pause for a brief second. Okay, guys, thanks for waiting there. Next game, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the New York Giants. Wow, what a tough loss for the New York Giants. Hopefully, Cam Scatterbo will get his career going the following season. It's going to be a long journey for the young man. Tough loss, breaking his ankle in that Philadelphia Eagles game. Pretty much dislocated. Not breaking it, but dislocation, and that's going to be tough. So losing Cam Scatterbo is really going to weaken that running game. Although they have Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary, I think missing the physicality of Cam Scatterbo kind of weakens what they do out there. Anyway, they're going to be playing a tough 49ers team. They're coming off a bad loss to the Houston Texans. Did not see that offense. Kendrick Bourne was silent. Mac Jones did not play well. Okay, I don't know if Brock Purdy comes back. But we're going to money line the 49ers. We're going to take the over and under of 46.5. We're going to take the under at 46.5. I think it's going to be a close game. But I am going to take that -2.5. I think this game will come down to a field goal or something. Take the 49ers in this. If I want touchdowns, it's only going to come from the obvious guys, right? I think George Kittle is finally waking up. Christian McCaffrey, I don't know. It was a bad game last week against a tough Houston Texans team. I think this is a tough defense as well, but I think McCaffrey will find ways to get in that end zone. Those are the two guys for me to take. I think on the Giants side, I think you want to go with Wan'Dale Robinson against that weak San Francisco secondary. I also think maybe Bellinger could get in that end zone, right? The tight end, Daniel Bellinger, or maybe Theo Johnson, maybe little Jordan Humphrey, or Jackson Dart just running it in. As far as the running game without Cam Scatterbo, I think they'll be okay with Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy. Maybe one of those guys gets in. Okay, let's move on to the other game. We have this Los Angeles Chargers at the Tennessee Titans. Guys, it's a no-brainer. We're going to take the Chargers, right? We're going to money line. We're going to take the over and under 42.5. We're going to take the over. And then we're going to take that -10.5 on the spread. Okay, I just think the Chargers are going to dominate this game. Despite some injuries on the Chargers side, I believe the Chargers will come out victorious in this one. Titans, again, they're rebuilding. Cam Ward, new coach, interim head coach, right? And Cam Ward still learning a thing or two all year. But if I had to get touchdowns, probably Vidal, the running back from the Chargers, maybe Lam McConkey, maybe Quentin Johnson, right, getting in the end zone, or even Keenan Allen, right, at wide receiver. On the Titans side, I really wouldn't put anyone on the Titans side on any touchdown parlay. I just think when it comes, right? If anyone scores from the Titans, maybe Tony Pollard. But other than that, this is a team that struggles to get in the end zone. So I really would stay away from any Titans play because you're not going to build a parlay and then try to hope that one of those guys ends up in the end zone, right? So let's move on from that game. Let's now go to the Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions. This is a tough game, okay, for two reasons. I think the Vikings are a desperate team. They just lost Carson Wentz out for the season, okay? J.J. McCarthy probably comes back and starts this game. They're probably regretting not having Sam Darnold around, okay? So we're going to money line the Lions, okay? It's at Detroit, so this is going to make this a tough place for the Minnesota Vikings to play at. High-scoring offense by Detroit. You could pick anyone on that team for a touchdown parlay, basically. Just pick and choose which guys, like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, I think will get in the end zone. Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, okay. Jameson Williams, just maybe a guy I wouldn't pick. He struggles to find the end zone on this offense, so maybe stay away from him. You can even ask little Mikey Myers about that. But anyway, we're going to money line the Lions, okay? I told you the touchdowns that you should get from these guys. We're going to go with the over and under of 47.5. We're going to take the over. There'll be some scoring in this. I think McCarthy's going to bring a little attitude. And we're going to go with the plus 5.5. I think the Vikings will hang around. I think they're going to make a game of this. I think the blitzing scheme of Brian Flores, they know each other. They know their opponent. I think it's enough for them to come up with something against them. As far as getting touchdowns from the Vikings, I'm just going to stay with the main guys like Jordan Mason, maybe Aaron Jones, right? If they stay on the ground, they're going to try to keep that offense from Detroit off the field. So look for Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones. If they go on top, obviously I love Hawkinson. I love Josh Oliver to surprise. Maybe Cam Akers on the ground. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Anderson, two good wideouts. I don't know how banged up that secondary is for Detroit, but I just don't see them as having enough to beat the Detroit Lions and that high-flying offense, okay? So let's just go with the Lions, money line it, over 47.5. There will be points in this game, I believe. And then we're going to take that plus 5.5, right, for the Vikings because I feel they're going to hang around, right? It's any divisional game is going to be tough. Let's move on to the next game, okay? We're going to have now the who do we got? Ooh, this is a tough game too. We got the Atlanta Falcons at the New England Patriots. Did not like what I saw out of Kirk Cousins, who took over for an injured Michael Penix for the Falcons. Did not like the game planning they had against Miami. This is even going to get tougher now. They're at New England. New England has benefited from an easier schedule, but they're a well-coached football team. So regardless of their schedule, they're winning football games. This is a tough game. You got Drake May playing out of his mind. They got two good running backs in Travion and Ramondre Stevenson. They got Stephon Diggs in the end zone finally. They got good wide receivers, a good tight end in Hunter Henry. All right, Kayshon Boutte on one wideout, Stephon on the other. I think it's going to be a little bit too much for that Atlanta defense. I'm going to take the Patriots as the money line. I'm going to go with the over and under of 45.5. I'm going to take the over and I'm going to take the plus 5.5. This is another tough game, guys. The Falcons have been, how do you call it? A Jekyll and Hyde, I believe. That's, being that it's Halloween, that's how I got to call it. Sort of like a Jekyll and Hyde type of football team. One weekend, they'll beat Buffalo, and then they drop a game like Miami. One weekend they'll beat Minnesota and then drop a game the following weekend. You understand what I'm saying? This is a team that can't get out of their way sometimes from their shadow. But the fact that you got a sitting duck like Kirk Cousins going into this game probably to play, if not, even if Michael Penix plays, it's going to be tough for him to get to those receivers with Christian Gonzalez and that good secondary from New England. So money line the Patriots. And by the way, Falcons, you have Bijan Robinson back there. You got to use him. You got to use him. This guy is probably, other than Jonathan Taylor, probably the best running back in the league. You got to use this guy if you want to win football games. The Jets found out how important that was when they beat the Bengals this past weekend. Because what I've been saying all year, you have Breece Hall. If you use this guy every game, you're going to win football games. And I think the Jets found that out real quick. But anyway, take the Patriots, right? Money line it, over and under, over a 45.5. But it's going to be a tight game. Again, I don't know if the Falcons pull this one out. This could be upset city over here. So let's go with the Patriots. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. Hold on one second. Interesting game coming up. And if you're a Steelers fan, you're going to hate this matchup. You got probably the number one offense in the league in the Indianapolis Colts led by Jonathan Taylor. This guy's just a wrecking crew. This guy already has 9 touchdowns, 14 touchdowns for the season, and 9 in the past 3 games. He might get 5 in this one because Steelers have no defense, all right? This team is abysmal at best. Anyway, Colts coming in, too many weapons. You got to money line the Colts. And if you're going to go with touchdown parlays with the Colts, automatically you go with Jonathan Taylor. I like Tyler Warren to get in the end zone as well. Maybe a couple of receivers like Michael Pittman, or maybe Alec Pierce, who needs to find the end zone. I don't know what's going on this year with Alec Pierce, but he needs to start getting in the end zone. We're going to go with the over and under of over 49.5. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to get into a shootout with the Colts. That's the only way he could see how he could beat the Colts this weekend, because If he has to rely on his defense and ground control, which I think the Steelers could do, I don't think it'll be enough to beat the Colts. We're going to take that -3 to the Colts. Okay, so the Colts are the favorites anyway going into this game. I mean, that's no brainer. If I had to pick a touchdown parlay for the Steelers, it's going to be Jaylen Warren or Kenneth Gainwell. Out of the tight ends, maybe Darnell Washington, who I don't understand why the Steelers didn't use him last weekend. That was weird. But I like the Colts in this game. Money line the Colts, over and under of 49.5. We'll take the over, We'll take the over, and then we'll take that -3, okay? Let's move on to the next game. All right. We have the Denver Broncos are heading to the Houston Texans. This was not only is it a tough bet, okay, I'm really shocked that Vegas put the Denver Broncos as the favorite. They're on the road. Again, they played a soft Dallas defense. I knew that it was going to be points all over the place with Denver getting all those points. I don't know. I know they have the weapons. I mean, look, you got Bo Nix, you got R.J. Harvey, J.K. Dobbins, Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin. They got weapons. But now they're probably going up against maybe the best defense in the league, the Houston Texans. So this is going to be a defensive battle. So Vegas turned around and put the over and under at 39.5. Rightfully so. I'm looking for a defensive game, but I'm still going to take the over of 39.5 because what does Vegas does, right? All your money's going to roll to that over and under of over 39.5, and then it becomes a defensive battle. Or you could just take all the money will roll on the under, and it becomes an offensive battle, right? So I think both these defenses are going to clash at some point during the game where one coach might outthink himself. We're going to take the Denver Broncos. This was a tough one. I could have easily said we're going to take the Houston Texans. But the difference is that the Broncos have offensive weapons. Houston Texans, I don't know if Nico Collins is going to be ready. I don't see the same weapons that Texans would have with Denver. So I think that could be the difference. So take the Denver Broncos, take the -1.5, right? Money line the Broncos, take the over of 39.5. I think there will be points in this game. Touchdowns are going to come from the Broncos. You could pick any guy there, right? R.J. Harvey, who had a great game last weekend. Troy Franklin, another one. You could pick Cortland Sutton. The Houston Texans secondary is tough, so maybe look for R.J. or J.K. Or maybe the tight end, Adam Troutman. I haven't heard his name in a while. Maybe he gets in the end zone. As for the Texans, maybe Woody Marks is starting to become the main guy instead of Nick Chubb. So look for that to happen, okay? Let me pause this for a second before we move on to the next game. Okay, guys, thanks for waiting. Let's move on to the next game. And we got the Chicago Bears heading to the defenseless Cincinnati Bengals. Guys, I thought the Bengals were going to do something this weekend, right? They were playing the 0-7 Jets, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, Bengals get Flacco. They were impressive against the Steelers. The defense just continues to be sloppy. They're terrible. They're non-existent. The fact that they gave up 39 points to the Jets, I'm pretty sure Caleb Williams, and even though he's sometimes on and off in his game, I'm pretty much thinking the Bears could score at least 30 this weekend, right? Everybody else does. Even the Steelers had 31 points on these guys. Listen, take the Chicago Bears, money line it. We're going to go with the over 51.5 because the Bengals do have weapons on offense and they do score plenty, okay? Even though Joe Flacco's been there 3 weeks, he's gotten his offense to get going and scoring. It's just the defense sucks. And the spread's going to be +2.5. I think the Bengals are just going to hang around because they got weapons. And they're going to make this game hard for the Chicago Bears to beat them. But the Bears better be careful because I could easily have picked the Bengals. I didn't like the way they played against Chicago. I didn't like the quarterback play of Caleb Williams. Yet again, he's off 1 week, does well the following week. So I'm picking the Bears to money line because they have a better defense and also because I believe the Bears could at least get 20-plus points on the Bengals or maybe more. They're going to have to score 30-plus. If you're going to beat the Bengals, you're going to get in a high-scoring game. I mean, that's just facts. You got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins going up against a weak Chicago secondary, Noah Fant, right? These are your touchdown parlay guys. You got Chase Brown in the backfield. And the Bears, they got weapons too. DJ Moore, Roman Ondunzi, right? If that's his name. Okay, no disrespect. I'm trying to get his name every week. Ondunzi, right? Great receiver for the Bears. Can get in the end zone. Luther Burden, if he's not hurt, can get in the game. You got two good tight ends and Colston Loveland, who's starting to get more of the ball. You got yourself Cole Kmet if he gets off the injured list. And then you got DeAndre Swift, one of the best backs in the league, okay, when he's healthy. And then you got the other kid, Rashawn Johnson, right? Those are touchdown parlays that I'm just throwing out there, guys that you could put down. And then they got the other kid, number 25, that starts with an M. I should have wrote his name down, so I'm sorry if I can't get his name right, but he's number 25 on the Chicago Bears. But I am moneylining the Bears. I'm taking the over 51.5. Plenty of scoring here. And the spread's going to be plus 2.5. I believe the Bears are the favorite going into this game, but I believe the Bengals will hang with them. Let's move on. Okay, we got the Panthers at the Packers. Bro, Andy Dalton. Bryce Young's no better. The problem I have with the Carolina Panthers, I put them in the same class as the Atlanta Falcons. One weekend they play great defense. Following weekend they get blown out. One weekend they play good offense. Following weekend they can't find the end zone. That happened against Buffalo last week. Yes, they were on a roll playing a tougher opponent in Buffalo. But it should have not been a blowout the way it was. This should have been a lot closer. I don't know where the defense went. A 200-yard game by another running back. James Cook just destroyed them on the ground. Now they're going to go to Green Bay. I don't see them winning. Obviously, the Packers are on the money line. Obviously, the over and under. I'm going to take 43.5 because I think, yet again, most of the scoring will come from Green Bay after that impressive win in Pittsburgh. But I'm going to do the Panthers solid. I'm going to take the plus 12.5. I think the Packers will cover that 12.5. I think they should win by 20. They should win by, I think they should win by 14. But I'm going to take the plus 12.5 because I just think the Panthers, a little bit of an embarrassment last weekend, but I don't like the quarterback play for either one. Bryce Young, Andy Dalton, no matter who starts at quarterback, I don't like it. I say stick to the ground, give the ball to Rico Dowdle or Chuba Hubbard, right? Keep the game close, and I think that's why I took the plus 12.5. But Xavier Leggett, Ted McMillan, two good wideouts, but no quarterback to get them the ball, and that's a shame. It's like their talents are being wasted. So let's take the Packers, money line it. Let's take the over and under 43.5. Let's take that plus 12.5. I think the Panthers will hang around just only because the Packers are probably going to beat them by either 11 or 10. Touchdowns, look for Josh Jacobs, Tucker Kraft, great game last weekend. Maybe Romeo Dobbs, right? Those are just some of the names on the Packers. For the Panthers, I put them in the same category as the Titans. Like every weekend, I really don't know who's going to score for these guys, right? It's the quarterback play that worries me. I wish I could pick Ted McMillan and Xavier Leggett every weekend. Those are two talented wideouts. But I think Rico Dowdle or Chuba Hubbard, one of those two. Other than that, I would stay away from them too when it comes to touchdown parlays. All right, let's go to the next game. We got the New Orleans Saints going to the Los Angeles Rams. Guys, right? Rams, money line, over and under is at 44.5. We're going to take the over of 44.5. I could easily take the under. I'm not really good with these over and unders. But if I had to go under, that's not a bad choice. But I'm going to take the over. Why? Because I just think all the money's going to roll with the under. And, Vegas is going to trip us up. And then this game ends up being 27-23. It all depends on a quarterback play by the Saints. Tyler Shuck, Spencer Rattler, it doesn't matter. I put them in the same category as the Panthers. It doesn't matter who starts at quarterback. They're not going to be good. It's not going to be good anyway. They're going up against a tough Rams defense. I'm going to take the minus 13.5 for the Rams. I think they should be able to beat them by 20 or 14. But it's the NFL. It's Halloween weekend. We just don't know where the tricks are coming from. But we will money line the Rams. Touchdowns will come from either Devontae, Puka, Kyron, maybe Blake Corum in there, Tyler Higbee, or maybe Tutu Atwell. And for the Saints, I would love to pick somebody there, but again, I put them in the same category as the Titans and also as the Panthers. I just don't know who's going to score because it all comes down to quarterback play. And if I had to pick one guy, it's Chris Olaf. Because Alvin Kamara hasn't seen the end zone. Rashad Shaheed, great speed, but no one to get him the ball. I think last weekend he was wide open on one, and the guy just overthrew it. And by the way, it was weird. It was like I was watching a Twilight Zone when I saw Rashid Shaheed catch the ball, fumble it, gets returned for a touchdown, then it got called back. And then later on in the game, the same thing happened. It was just weird. Just money line the Rams, guys. Let's go to the next game. We got the Jaguars at the Los Angeles Raiders. Raiders picked up Tyler Lockett this week. Hopefully that might help their offense and Geno Smith. Ashton GNT, I wasn't really thrilled about this first-round draft pick going to the Raiders, right? But the Raiders do have quality weapons. Jacoby Myers now, right? Brock Bowers hurt this team. He's still on the injured list. But they have another good tight end there, Michael Mayer, okay? Not little Mikey, the real Michael Mayer, okay? But it's the quarterback play of Geno Smith. Just terrible this year. Really ruined the Raiders season. I'm going to money line the Jaguars. The over and under, I'm going to take the over 43.5. These are games that I think most of the points might come from the Jaguars anyway. I could have easily taken the under. I would suggest people take the under on this, but I'm going to take the plus 12.5. I think the Raiders hang around. They might even pull the upset here. The Jags are the favorite, but I don't like the quarterback play of either one of these guys, Trevor Lawrence or Geno Smith. Ever since that Kansas City victory, it's like the Jaguars took a step back. It's like they can't even get out of their own way. And Trevor Lawrence just took a step back. Like he had a great game against Kansas City and then lost his way again. And, they got Trevor Etienne in the backfield. Just give him the ball. You got Brian Thomas. They don't know if Travis Hunter is going to be a full-time wide receiver. I would suggest they do that. Seems like he's better off that way first, right? But if I had to pick touchdowns from the Jaguars, it's going to come from Travis Etienne. They do have a good tight end, Brenton Strange. Maybe he gets in the end zone. Brian Thomas against that weak secondary, maybe. For the Raiders, Ashton GNT, maybe Jacoby Myers. Until Brock Bowers gets back, maybe Brock Bowers if he was playing in this game. But we're going to money line the Jags. We're going to take the over and under of 43.5. We're going to take the over. It's just, I feel like all the money's going to the under, and I just think it'll be an over. We're going to take that plus 12.5. I think the Raiders hang around or maybe pull the upset. Okay? Next game. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills. I think this is the game of the weekend between both these teams. I think that my personal opinion, from what I'm seeing right now from Kansas City, they woke up about 2 weeks ago after losing to what should have been a victory for them against Jacksonville. Thanks a lot, Chris Jones, right? But I just think Kansas City is coming around at the right time. I think the AFC's in trouble. Now, if Buffalo wants to make a statement, just beat down Kansas City, come out with a victory, and people will start taking you seriously. I just think the loss of Ed Oliver right now on the defensive side is just going to open up this running game for Kansas City. And the way the offense is running right now for Kansas City, I'm a money line the Chiefs. This is a tough bet. And I'm going to take the over and under 51.5. We're going over. I think you're going to see points aplenty on both sides. But the defense of the Chiefs is getting better. I like Spags. I like that defensive coordinator. I always liked them. And that -1.5, obviously, because right now I believe the Chiefs are I believe might be the underdog going into this game. But if they're the favorites, obviously you're going to take the Chiefs at -1.5. If they're the underdog, you take the Chiefs at +1.5. Okay, money line the Chiefs over 51.5. Lots of scoring. We're going to take that -1.5 because I think the Chiefs might be the favorites for this game. If they're the underdogs, take the +1.5 as well. Touchdowns, plenty of guys to pick from Kansas City. Same with the Buffalo Bills. I don't think I need to repeat names for these guys. This is probably the game of the weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing this game. It's Halloween. And if Buffalo wants to make a statement, beat the Kansas City Chiefs. That's all you have to do. Get over the hump and beat the Chiefs. This is the game that Josh Allen has to show everyone. I can get over the hump and beat these guys. He's done it before. He could do it again. But do it in the playoffs, too. I just think the Chiefs are waking up. They're dangerous right now. If I had to pick which is the best team right now in the AFC, and I know I'm a piss off the Indianapolis Colts fans. I know I am. But if there was a playoff game between the Chiefs and the Colts, I'm taking the Chiefs. Okay? There's no way the Colts beat the Chiefs. No way. So I'm gonna take the Chiefs in this one. Unless you have what's his face? He used to play for the Colts until he retired, number 12. What a great comeback that was in the playoffs back in the day, right? Geez, I can't even think of his name. I'm so sorry. He was number 12 of the Colts before he pulled this back. But if you know his name, leave it on the comments, okay? And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for the 100th time, okay? So let's move on to the next game. We got the Seattle Seahawks at the Washington Commanders. Guys, I don't like the way the Commanders are looking these days. They're going through the very tough schedule right now. This is a game they're going to play at home. We don't know Jaden Daniels is going to start, ever since he messed up that hamstring. Marcus Mariota, he's a viable backup, but he's not going to be the guy to get you over the hump. They do have good players on the Commanders, but I don't think it'll be enough against this tough Seattle defense. I think Seattle goes in here. I put it down as a tough bet because Washington's going to be desperate coming into this game. And that always makes for a dangerous team. The gimme is to take the money line on the Seahawks, but I'm not even sure about that. The over and under, I'm going to take the under of 45.5. Okay? And the spread is at -3, and I'm taking a -3 only because the Seattle Seahawks are the favorite. But what's the difference in this game? Seattle's got a tough defense, but they got an offense that's led by Sam Darnold. And if Washington gets a couple of turnovers from him, this could be a game where Washington steals a victory. And yet again, the status of Jaden Daniels is up in the air. Touchdown parlays, look for Jackson Smith, Njigba, okay? Look for him to get in the end zone. Look for either Kenneth Walker or Zach Charbonnet, okay? Maybe A.J. Barner, okay? And for the Commanders, look for, maybe Terry McLaurin, Zach Ertz. I don't see Ja'Cory Merritt getting in the end zone. I don't see Debo getting in the end zone. This is going to be a tough game anyway for Washington getting in the end zone. It's a tough game all around. All right, let's go to the final game, the Monday night game between the Arizona Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys. Well, guys, we all know that the Dallas Cowboys have no defense. This should be a victory for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm moneylining the Cardinals. I'm taking the over 53.5, and I'm taking a +3 because I believe the Cardinals are the underdog going into this game. Why? Probably because they don't have the offense to match the Dallas Cowboys, and I think I could have taken the Cowboys here. I think a lot of bettors will. Sharp bettors especially, professional guys, right? But from what I see is the Cardinals' defense, if they could get 2 or 3 good stops in this game, because it's going to be hard to cover CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. Javonte Williams is having a fantastic year. You got a tight end like Jake Ferguson. It's going to be a lot to ask for that Arizona defense to try to prevent the Cowboys from getting in the end zone. This is at Dallas, okay? This game is at Dallas. They do have home field advantage. But I just feel that the Cardinals, they got to find somebody else other than Trey McBride to complement to compliment him because I don't know what happened to the running game. Ever since Amari DiMarcado coughed up that football that day going into the end zone, it's like non-existent. I like Michael Carter. Okay, Trey Benson, is he coming back? I don't know. Maybe DiMarcado could be the special sauce in this game that could beat the Cowboys. But they're going to have to match points. And that's, I could have easily, like I said, I could have easily taken the Cowboys. I just think this is a game, this is desperation time for Arizona. If you're ever going to get back in the hunt for the playoffs, this is the game to do it. So, Cardinals, wake up. Beat the Cowboys. I'm money lining you. I'm taking you over 53.5, and I'm taking that +3 because you're the underdog. Cowboys have no defense. This could be a game where the Cardinals could get at least 35 points out of this. If not, Cowboys are going to run all over you guys. All right, that's enough said. I'm going to get ready to give you my treats for this weekend because it is Halloween weekend. So let's go right now and start this whiteboard and show you exactly what teams I'm picking for this weekend. Well, there you have it, folks. Those are my weekend picks for this Halloween weekend. Hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to leave your comments below. Much appreciated. I need all the viewers I can get. So there's going to be a lot of tricks this weekend, and hopefully I can give you those treats, right? So we're here to give you that edge for free. We're here to make money. We're trying to beat those sports books and those sports apps. So guys, I thank you so much for tuning in. And I will continue to work on my laptop here, right? So I will always try to give you that edge for free. So guys, thank you for tuning in and thank you for watching me. I really appreciate your viewership and I hope to hear from you guys. Let's get that money, guys. Let's get that money. We have to hit something huge this weekend. All right, guys, enough said. Enjoy your Halloween. Have a special weekend. Trick or treats. We're trying to give you the treats. Hopefully there are no more tricks. I'm getting tired of being tricked with these upsets and games going the wrong way. Let's get it right this time this weekend. Have fun. Enjoy your Halloween. See you next weekend.